Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Mount Pleasant. I'll be conducting the meeting tonight in the absence of the mayor. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to stand as I ask Councilman Walker to lead us in a word of prayer, followed by the pledge. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. This is a special agenda meeting tonight. We have just a couple of items, then we have an executive session, and we will be reconvening in the regular session following the executive session. To start with this evening, we're going to consider the approval and appointment of Holmes-Murphy and Associates, Inc. as the city's agent of record for all benefit coverage, including but not limited to medical, prescription drug, dental, vision, life insurance, AD&D, disability, and other benefits.
Mayor and council, if you remember last council meeting, we went over this. Representatives from Holmes-Murphy were here. We recommended approval. The reason we're here tonight is we failed to put an action item on with it. If you have any questions, I or Cheryl Dunlop can answer them. Otherwise, we're asking for your approval.
With that, I'll ask the council, do we have any discussion, comments, concerns?
I just want to verify, like in this one particular agreement that we had, there was additional verbiage added. There's been no changes, though, between last week and this week, so it's all the same.
That's correct, and we want to get them approved so we can get busy and try to get this some changes made as soon as we can this year.
Like Mr. Thatcher said, we just didn't have it as an agenda item, so we couldn't vote on it. But so we just put that on this one tonight. So with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion after the presentation last week that we enter an agreement with Holmes-Murphy and Associates for our medical expenses.
I second the motion.
I have a motion made by Councilman Adams, second by Councilmember Walker. Madam Secretary, would you record the vote, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Council. It was approved unanimously. We'll move on to item 2 on the agenda, which is to consider the approval of the purchase of the Civic Center property and Chamber/IDC building.
Mayor and council, let me just say this was another one of those items that we failed to put an action item on. That's why we're here. I want to personally, sincerely apologize to those who are here with Red River and for making you come back again. I'm sorry, that was just an oversight, and you're having to be put through the ringer because of me, so I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Thatcher. At this time, I'm going to refer to their legal counsel for any comments and to kind of go over these with us, if you would, Kerry.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. On September 28th of this year, the council voted to use the method to put potential sale of this particular property, being what we call the south end of the Civic Center property where the Chamber building is, to put that out and use a broker sale under the local government code. And at that particular time, you appointed Brad Buchanan or Lighthouse Realty to represent the city to market the property. The only criteria in that statute, or he has to be a broker, which obviously he is. It has to be listed on a multiple listing service, which he did, and for a minimum period of 30 days. And I think after that, I think we measured there, I believe from October the 18th, I believe was the original time that was actually entered. So the 30-day period has passed, minimum of 30 days on there. Brad presented to me and the rest of you 2 bids or proposals, and Brad will be here tonight, but we had another meeting he had to be at, I believe it was. So the statute is relatively new, and it's pretty specific. Those are the criteria, and it tells you basically accept or reject the bids at your disposal. Number 2, accept the highest cash offer, and that's about the guidance that there is in that particular statute. So I think you have copies. There were 2 contracts or letters of intent that were presented, one being from Red River Credit Union. I believe these folks are here tonight. And the other from Muscati Development with the purchase agreement. Just taking what Brad gave us and what we have, the proposed purchase price on the Red River Credit Union was entered at $840,000, and the proposed purchase price from Muscati Development was $850,000. That's the highest cash. I mean, that's the cash prices that were offered. Similar terms, I believe both, which is very, very common in commercial real estate. Both had feasibility periods in there to determine if the property meets their needs or whatever, and that's very common, and I would have expected that in there. Both have it, and so obviously I don't expect this transaction to close tomorrow. I don't think that'll happen. But the successful recipient here will have plenty of time to, I believe, 120 days to begin with, and some additional time, and then we have title companies to deal with and whatever. So from the standpoint of the 2 proposals that were presented to Brad, you have copies of the development. There was some, I think Muscati had asked for some restrictions on there, which they've been they're acceptable, I think. And with that, I pretty much leave it up to the council. I'm waiting to the night. I put together a resolution because I had to wait and see who actually, if there's anything else come in. There hasn't. I talked to Brad about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and there's another one did not appear. So, but I do want to tell you that all these commercial transactions, they all carry a feasibility period, and that's perfectly acceptable. I don't have a problem with that. So if whichever one, whether it met their needs or didn't meet their needs, you have some time to determine that. That is the purchase price. That's the terms. With that, I will turn it. As I say, the title companies, whichever title company winds up with it, may have additional requirements from the council, but we will work with them as far as they have anything that they need. And with that, Mayor, is that pretty much the framework of what you expected? Is there anything that I can add to that?
I believe that probably answers most of the question. I'll refer to the council here and see what the will of the council in a moment, but just let me say I think that you've gone over the proposals very adequately here. As Mr. Wooten said, we have an inspection period of 120 days, and we have a permitting period here for 90 days and several more in there for 30 days, et cetera, as y'all are aware of. And I'd just like to say, before we make a decision of the will of the council, we appreciate both of these bids on this property. We appreciate both of these entities wanting to come into our town and do business, and we look forward to working with both of you. I'm sure hopefully at a different time for whichever one that the bid is awarded to. At this time, I'll ask the council if they have any questions, concerns, comments concerning this before we go any further. Mr. Thatcher?
No, I think under the Texas Municipal Code that Kerry said, that your choice is to take the highest bidder or to reject all bids.
That's correct. With that, I will put it before the council, and I'll entertain a motion to approve one of these bids. I think he's already made it clear on which one that we really have to because of the dollar amount, but the formality. So I'll entertain a motion at this time, please.
I'll make a motion to enter into agreement with Lascotti Development on purchase of the land in the proposal.
I'll second that.
I have a motion made by Councilmember Adams, second by Councilmember Chappelle. Madam Secretary, would you record the vote, please?
Aye.
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 Thank you, council. With that, we approved the intent here with the Lascotti Development, and again, Red River Credit Union. We appreciate y'all being here, and again, I'm sorry that you had to make 2 trips for this, and but we appreciate you. We look forward to any way we can help in the future with development or you coming in town. Let us know how we can be of assistance. Okay, thank y'all.
So, does Red River have an alternate location picked out for Mount Pleasant as a Plan B option?
Well, thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you here again, and if we can be of any assistance, but we'll welcome you to our town. Again, thank you for being here. So at this time, I'll go ahead. We're going to, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to go into the executive session here. I'm just getting to the verbiage here. At this time, according with the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, the City Council will recess into executive session, and we will return and reconvene following the executive session. So again, thank you for being here, and at this time, we will go into executive session.
We're going to call the Planning and Zoning Commission regular session of December the 14th, 2021. So we're going to consider the approval of the minutes for the October 12th, 2021 Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I hear a motion to accept the approval of the minutes for the October 12th meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second motion.
Okay, it's all passed. All right, item number 3. We're going to hold a public hearing to consider the request of Syed Hussein, is that right? Did I pronounce that right? Application owner for the zoning change from C Commercial District to PD1 Plan Development District Number 1 for the townhomes development on 3.677 acre tract of land situated in the G.W. Graves Survey, abstract number 246, Titus County, Texas, in the city of Mount Pleasant, and being all the remainder of the tract conveyed to Amos Rockwell in a deed found in volume 271, page 157 of the deed of record of Titus County, Texas, and all remainder of the first tract and all the remainder of the second tract conveyed to Amos Rockwell in deed volume 172, page 402 of the deed records of Titus County, Texas, and generally located in the north side of Tennyson Road, east of U.S. Highway 271, South Jefferson. Take any action as necessary.
Commissioners, tonight, as you stated, this is a zoning case. I'm just going to back up a minute. About 3 months ago or so, this was before you. We had basically 3 properties that came in on Tennyson over there dealing with multifamily zoning, and this one was actually brought in by the owner at the time, and he requested commercial zoning because of the nature of it was surrounded by commercial zoning to begin with, and this tract was not, because I think at one time there was a residence there, and he just had kept it that way. It was in a family, sort of a family trust. Him being the executor to the family trust, he brought it in and requested commercial zoning with the intent of whether he got it sold for that purpose or for commercial, or if he could actually, on commercial property in Mount Pleasant, you can also build multifamily. So there was the intent probably to do that, but that's what he requested at the time. The developers are here tonight. They pretty much immediately came in or had it under contract, and once that zoning changed, then they came back to us and described what they wanted to do, which was they wanted to do a townhome development. And the townhome development really hasn't been done very much in Mount Pleasant that I could find, where there may be a few, but to this capacity not, where they're on individual lots. They're sold that way. There's going to be a proper owners association out there that takes care of the open space and the responsibility for that. But it is it's a owner, be simple, owned property, not rental property. But each owner will own each one of these. That's how they'll be sold. So again, an owner could buy a couple of them, could buy 3 of them, could buy all of them. That kind of thing. But the intent is to have these as a single family product, but in a townhome form. They have submitted, that's the survey that came in originally. One thing about this, there is a large transmission line that runs directly through the middle of the property. They kind of accommodate that in their concept plan, and they've sort of built around it. I'm sorry, I apologize for the size of this, but that was, I couldn't get it much bigger, without distorting it, so that's all I could put up there in your packet. But if you can see that's the power line, the 50-foot easement that runs through there, and they've sort of built around that to accommodate that. And actually, there's only one pole that sits on the property for the extension of that line that sits on this area. So they're actually able to utilize that in a sense as kind of an open space, green space walkway for this little community here. They have designed on this concept plan, they've got 45 units. They'll be individually owned. Again, there is open space around the units, and what the property owner will own is going to just be that area as a part, be the building pad side plus the area in front where he pulls up into his driveway, and the applicant can address that more with you. But then We've had to put this in a planned development district because in the city code, in terms of zoning, there really isn't a townhome zoning district. There was a section in the plan called out as planned development district, but the code's pretty old, and it really just was trying to regulate garden homes. Through some research that I did, I went back and looked at where do these PDs and how do they use it. A lot of it was just the PDs have been used for smaller homes that had lesser setbacks, and they were using a smaller lot size, a regular, to address that as opposed to a true townhome product. So this is actually a townhome product, and so some of the things in the PD we tried to address. One of the things is the use, so we're sort of limiting this strictly as a townhome use. So there's not potential of a commercial, even though it was zoned commercial to start with. Now we're reverting it back to this planned development district that limits it to the townhome product. So any of those changes that should occur, or if they want to change the zoning or come back with something else, that it would be another zoning case come back to you. They'd have to amend this planned development district to be able to do that. Again, 45 units. Each unit's going to have a 2-car garage coming off the front. It'll be front entry. They're going to make a 31-foot back-to-back curb street, which is a standard residential street for the city. The only issue here, which can be allowed under the planned development district, is that right-of-way. The limitation because of that. Basically that 50-foot easement that's running through the middle of the property, they had to squeeze that in to make those lots and that lot size work to make it do that sort of horseshoe thing that they've got shown in the concept. So they've had to reduce the right-of-way instead of being 50 feet, it's typical. They've asked for a 42-foot right-of-way. We worked that out with our guys on the utility side, seeing how we could do that. And essentially you can run the water on one side, the sewer on the other side, and make it work, and just go onto the road, put those lines in at the time of construction of the units. So with that, there is in the PD standards that we put in place in your packet, if you looked at those, there is a requirement for a 1,500 square foot minimum unit size. Of course, these are 2-story, so the pad side's smaller, but they're going to be 2 stories. That accommodates that minimum 1,500 square feet, some more probably. The minimum lot size, actually, where the pad is 1,000 square feet, but that's the minimum size, and some of those may be larger. I think they've got that in the plan. I included, as an exhibit, the building elevations. This is something that if there is any tweaking to it, it has to be pretty much what they've got shown in the concept plan. In terms of materials, that's laid out in the PD development plan. They're going to use basically a stucco type structure, which is allowed under our code anyway, with the masonry requirements. So the stucco isn't allowed a building material, and they've got a color rendering of that also, kind of that style of unit. And you can see the garage doors in the front. There is some amenity there. There's going to be, like we said, kind of a walking path inside the community. There will be a small open space. I think you saw that back in that green area there. There's a small, I would call it a park, but there's a small open space. They may make that into something there for the community. And again, they got trees rather. There's these pockets of open space that are around the units themselves. Not much in the back of the unit. It's kind of a limited. There is the ability to have some of this open space in that easement there that these people can utilize itself there. So that's what we're asking tonight, is to the approval for the zoning change from commercial designation to what will be Plan Development District Number 1. And another thing we try to figure out in the city is that there were not enumerated these PDs that are existing in the city today, so it's kind of hard to figure out where they're at and where the ordinances are at. So starting now with this one, we will start an enumeration process and call this number 1. From this point on, with the ordinance and with these standards, we'll be able to go to them. We'll have them, digitally. You can find it. It'll be available to the public, and you'll see these PDs and those standards and what they're doing out there. makes it a lot easier for staff and makes it a lot easier for everybody else to know where the information is located. And that will be designated on the map, on the zoning map as PD1. And then you'll be able to find that ordinance in the city records. So this is a public hearing. I'll be glad to answer any questions of staff. The applicant is here to address you tonight. So if you have any questions of staff, I'll be glad to answer.
Anybody got any questions? We're good. Yeah, we'll open the public hearing.
I can take any questions if you guys have any. My name is Mohammed. I'm the project manager for this development. Mostly the address is 125 Tennyson Road for this property. Yeah. The business address is in Parker. It's Primacy Builder, the name of the business. Primacy Builder. It's 7506 Forest Bend Drive, Parker. We took this actually section from mostly Dallas. That's where we mostly built at. So we combined this one over here because we built another house on Catherine's Court. It's a Mediterranean style. I don't know if you guys have looked at that one. It's a country club estate.
On Catherine Court.
On Catherine. That's the one that we built. So it's going to be similar to that one. It has a clay structure with the 3-coat stucco system. The owner is kind of mad because he said, you're not going to build that one over here. Because I like my house. I was like, it's not going to be like your house, but it's going to be similar to that. It's a pretty much high-end product. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice. I mean, I'm sure Robert's checked everything out. Looks like it's going to be a nice addition to the city. I think you'll do good.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is Syed Manzoor Hussain. You can call me Syed. I'm kind of my daughter is the owner of the company, and it's a family business, not a big business. But the idea is to build good homes. We've done it in Dallas. We were looking at, there is an opportunity here for people to buy homes and rent them or live in them, or there are people who move in and out quite a bit, like doctors and lawyers and stuff who come here. And this city seems to be potentially, something that will be growing. But we don't want to go into the leasing business. That's not what we do. But we will definitely want to make it attractive and sell it to the right people. So make it like a higher end, not just something to, take it and, leave and all that. So the idea was to give a quality stuff. Mount Pleasant is a beautiful place. We drive 2 hours here, almost every day when we build that home in countryside and that development there. And but we kind of grew into a passion that if we can grab a land here, we can probably do some more here. We could have got something in Greenville, we could have got something in Dallas, but I think we were lucky we found a small spot here, and we would like to demonstrate what we can get.
Okay, yeah, we're glad you're here. How big is each unit going to be? How many square feet living area?
1,500 square foot. The first 2 floors, everything combined, and it's a pretty decent design. It gives a look of a bigger home. So you have a garage, and Muhammad, this is what, two-car garage? 2-car garage, and it's pretty decent. And then you have clay tiles and stucco as an outlet, and then you space enough on the roads and stuff. And we hope to squeeze some more stuff there for the public, as such, to have fun, let's see if we can do that. We do have a limitation with that high tension going in between, but we are leaving enough space for that, and we would like to make it look beautiful so that it's still, workable for the high tension, the electric guys.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a high scale property.
Definitely, and I I think, like Robert mentioned, we don't have something like this here in Mount Pleasant. And this is something that if we can bring it in, it'll probably trigger you some more properties that might go this way.
Good, good. I think it's a great addition. Any more public comment? Okay, we'll close the public comments, and I'll make the motion, or ask for or make the motion to approve the application for the zoning change from C Commercial District to Planned Development District Number 1.
I'll make that motion to change it to as and I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Pat? The director.
Just wanted to give you a heads up on the what's happening with the comp plan. We had a meeting update to the council the other night, and we've completed all the what they call stakeholders interviews. All that stuff's been done. They did a presentation a week or so ago to the council. Our consultant did. Kind of went over some pretty good what they call demographics and some other studies that they were able to utilize from this company, Esri, that if you're not familiar with Esri, Esri's the world-leading GIS company in the world. But they do a lot of different types of demographics and hone in on different communities with all the data that they have collected over and continue to collect over all the years. So they were able to kind of put a picture together of what type of individuals live here, you know, what their economic status is, where they work, what they do, where they go, and it kind of categorizes it. People sometimes don't like to hear that, but yeah, you kind of fall into one of those categories. I know I felt like I did when I was listening to it, so we all kind of fall into somewhere there. But it did give us a good picture of what the city is made up of currently, and so we finished up an existing land use map, tried to pinpoint as much as we could, try to correct as much as I could with the consultant, not probably down to the nth degree, but in a broad spectrum. It's getting most of the delineating the residential, the commercial, the industrial areas that we have. So it's a lot more correct than it was, and we're going to utilize that and start formulating, going forward and try to formulate what we want to see. I know some of you, you'll be seeing that as the Planning and Zoning Commission with what will be the future land use recommendations that'll come to you. So we'll be looking at things like the I-30 corridor, other parts of the city, probably try to look at characteristics of individual neighborhoods, try to identify those a little more, and look at the downtown, look at the parks districts and our park master plan. We're going to be looking at that also. So that's coming up. We got a public forum meeting, another one, scheduled for January the 15th at the Civic Center. It's like 10 to 2. You know, we gladly love to have everybody out there participate if they can, or anybody, you know, your employees or anybody you want to tell, just to say, hey, you should go be part of this. But we've had real good participation so far on the digital side of it. That was they got far more surveys in than they thought, and we sort of adding all these things together. We're beginning to get a lot of good input, and sort of like being able to formulate this stuff. So we're about 50% through with the plan, and you'll start to see these things in the spring. You'll be getting it. I don't know if we have 2 meetings with you as a Planning and Zoning Commission, but I know you're going to see it probably at least twice, and before we get it down to the taken to the council. So that the intent is to get there, I think late May or early June, and have it finished with council and get it in front of them for approval. So that being said, that's all I wanted to tell you. That's what we got going.
Sounds good. I hear a motion for adjournment.
I will make that motion.
Second motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're adjourned.
Okay, thank you for those that have stayed. Reconvening here of the, after the regular session to the executive session here, at this time, executive session, no action was taken. So at this time, we will, we don't need a motion, we'll, do what? Go ahead, Councilwoman.
I make a motion that we conclude this meeting.
I'll second that one.
Motion made, second by Councilman Chappelle, motion made by Councilwoman Sproul to, and with that, thank you for being here.